Israel. Is Israel actually their land? Or did they steal it? Or they shouldn't even be in this land? Sad news for people that hate them. Yes, Israel is their land. Actually, they're supposed to have more than that. Okay? They really is. So what happened? First, we need to go back to the beginning. Over 2000 BCE, God called Abraham out of a nation, out of a people that served false gods and idols. And he said, Abraham, I want you to come out from among them and be separated. And I want you to start moving. Take your family, take your stuff, and start moving. And yes, I will bless you. I will bless your descendants. But I want you to start moving and move out. And I won't give you a land. That was Canaan. Now, Canaan land. I want to break it down to you. The land Canaan, modern day Israel, Pakistan, Libya, Western Jordan, Western Syria. Boom. But preach. Why they don't have that land right now? Like I said, I'm going to have to break it down for you. So this will happen. Abraham was in Canaan land. He had a son. His son had sons. And we all know that they are the 12 tribes of Israel. Joseph was sold into slavery. Famine happened. Everybody had to start buying grain from Egypt. The 12 patriarchs and all the Jews moved out of that land, went to Egypt for over, I think, 200 years. Finally, God said, brought a deliverer, Moses, and he said, okay, Moses, go to Pharaoh, tell him to let my people go. Disobedient, plagues happened, finally let them go, and God said, all right, now let's go to your land. The people were disobedient, and they was in the wilderness for 40 years. And he said, this generation will not see the land, but their generation after will see the land. Moses died. And Joshua took the charge. And the people finally went back to their land. Now, Joshua, he did everything God told him to do. Conquering the land, claiming the land for Israel. Fast forward. We have a kingdom of Israel. And that was 1050 to 931 BCE. And that was Saul, David, and Solomon. But after those kings, the kingdom was split in two. The kingdom was divided because God said it will be. He said he would divide the kingdom because of someone's disobedience. Someone did not obey God. And this will happen when you do not obey God. Israel is a nation that disobeyed God so much. It's like everybody else in this world, we disobey God. But this was his chosen people. And he loved his chosen people. But they were so hard-headed. And they were so dull of understanding. And they just didn't care. But God was trying to tell them multiple times, give them chances after chances. Like, come on, come back to me. But they didn't want this. Now, the kingdom was split in two. Now something bad is about to happen. As I said, after Solomon, Jerusalem was split into two. You have Israel to the north, Judea to the south. Israel was conquered by the Syrians, and that was 722 BCE. You have Judea conquered by the Babylonians, 586 BCE. Jerusalem was destroyed, the Jews into exile. And now, when you have Cyrus the Great, he finally came and allowed them to build their temple. Not because you like, oh, build a temple, but they brought to him the scrolls that it was prophesied that he would come before he was even there. I don't know if he was even born when this was prophesied, but nevertheless, it was in the scrolls that was written there, that been there for years. And he said, okay, go ahead and build your temple. Fast forward until Rome. Jerusalem was ruled by Rome. Remember the saying, all roads led to Rome? Because it was true. Rome ruled the whole world. They was everywhere. But they said now Jerusalem was trying to start a revolt. And they probably would. You had zealots, you had different people like that, and they were trying to start a revolt. So they put down the revolt. And they said no. Then they destroyed Jerusalem, destroyed the second temple, and sent the Jews back into exile. And we name Israel Palestine. And that's where you get the confusion from. But here's the shocker. I'm going to name out some of the people that ruled Israel Palestine before the Jews even came back. You got the Byzantines, Arabs / Muslims, the Crusaders, Ottoman Empire. All these people. Now you fast forward until today. And how Israel literally got back to their homeland. This was prophesied in the old book. This was prophesied in the Bible. The holy book, which is the old book, I like to call it. But this is literally a prophesied. They one day they will return back to their land. And we know in the 1900s, they came back to the land. United Nations, they voted that Israel can be, they finally recognized them to being a nation. They finally recognized Israel to be a nation. Israel was scattered over everywhere. Now they finally came back into Israel, and now they became a nation. Everybody hate Israel for no reason. God said literally in His word, I'll bless them that bless you, I'll curse them that curse you. If you read the old Hebrew, the word bless mean kneel. Now, this don't mean worship. This doesn't mean hold them higher than they are. And this doesn't mean this. To mean kneel, I really think it really mean not only support, but respect. Because back in the old times, when you kneel to somebody, you wasn't worshiping them. That was a sign of honor, respect. So in the ancient Hebrew tongue, when they said kneel, wasn't only blessings, wasn't only you being blessed with things, but it was respect. He said respect them. And we respect Israel, God's chosen people. And if you don't, as I stated before, if you don't support Israel, there's something wrong with you, not them. This was the land that God promised them. Yes, they would been exiled for many of years. Yes, God had to, really punish them and to get, to finally get them back in their minds so they can start looking to Him. They're not even still looking to Him. But He said this had to happen so the Gentiles, people like you and I, that wasn't grafted in the olive branch or wasn't grafted in to be heirs with Christ, to be heirs with God. He said He literally had to make them dumb and dull of understanding so we can make it in. We can be grafted in. Because the promise was for the Jews first. Now, God's not going to forget His people, because after His first coming, when the end times finally arrive, this is their time to finally look up to heaven and say, okay, Lord, I remember. I acknowledge you to be my Lord and Savior. Because a lot of people say, this is impossible. This is impossible. We had a God. Now here's somebody else saying He's God. We can't accept that. But finally, God going to remove the veil from their eyes. And they're going to see. They're going to see that Jesus is who He said He is. But this how tricky the devil is, because they are still looking for the promised Messiah. A lot of them are still looking for the promised Messiah. So when the Antichrist emerges from the scene, many Jews are going to be fooled, and they're going to be saying, "This is the Messiah. This is who This is Him. He going to be doing signs, wonders, and miracles, not from heaven, not from God, but from a demonic source." He's going to have a false prophet that go before Him that boldly proclaim that He is God. This person that's trying to be God, he is God. And a lot of people are gonna be fooled. The Bible says, don't be fooled when somebody say, here's Christ. He's over in the mountain. Lo, he's there. He over in the valley. He's there in a different state. Believe them not. Don't go. Because he said in the Bible, everybody will see him. Every man, every woman, every child will see Christ when he returns. Just like you see the sun and the moon, and it's all in the same place. That's how it's going to be. Everybody going to see Jesus when he returns in the cloud. So when people say, "Hail is Christ," don't believe them. It's going to be a crazy time. It's going to be a time of sorrow. And people think, okay, this is going to be the enemy time and Christians are going to be persecuted. Yes, Christians are going to be persecuted. But have you read Revelations? It's not going to be beautiful for the people that rejected God. When Jesus come, his first time, and after he take his church away, it's not going to be beautiful for the people down here. People think like, oh, the enemy going to be ruined with iron fist. Yeah, he is. But still not going to be beautiful as you think it is. Not for people that going to be still down here. The horrors, the pestilence, the famine, the plagues. He's going to send on the children of disobedience. The children that rejected him and reject who he said he is. They all going to have theirs. He's every liar going to have the part in the lake of fire. Everybody that say, oh, I didn't know about Christ, you won't be able to say it because God said this message, this gospel will be preached, and then the end will come. Israel is a rightful heirs of this land. And this is a generational feud that been happening for years that a lot of people don't understand. And like I said, a lot of people blaming it on race and saying, oh, they white, oh, and I'm black and all this mess. Like, this have nothing to do with race. People just put race in it because everybody start getting offensive. Everybody start getting sensitive. Stop being sensitive. Stop it. Because it's not about this. It's about God's covenant promise that was thousands of years before you were even thought of. And God said, I'm going to give them this land. I gave you the history of why they got exiled and persecuted and all this stuff because of disobedience. But God never gave up on his children. He said, soon you will come back to your land. And they did come back to the land. You might not want to admit it. You don't have to like the government. Hey, I don't like my government. The U.S. government does so much dope, so much sin. It's not even funny. But nevertheless, you cannot neglect. You cannot say, Israel, this is not your land. You should not be here. Because they are supposed to be there. It is their land. It's a land that God gave them. Like it or not. If you don't like it, don't get mad at me. Take it up with God. You don't like Israel? Take it up with God. You got a problem with his people? Take it up with God. Because he haven't forgot about Israel. He just made them dumb and blinded for a season so you can make it in. For all the people that's saying I'm mosh this, I'm mosh that. If you was in Iran right now, you'd probably be dead. Because a lot of people in Iran, there's a lot of good people. A lot of people don't even like the regime. But nevertheless, if you are chilling on the sideline for Hamas and what they do, the terrors they do, you're not a Christian. You can't be. You can't be to stand on the sideline and support evil. You can't be. Like I said, take it up with God. You don't like his people? Don't have a problem with me. Take it up with the one that literally gave them the land years ago. It's God's land. He gave it to his people. It's their land. Period.